Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting podcast. This is the Beyond Swanky podcast. I'm your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. Of course, we're back in the studio. And of course, I've got my main man, T. Shout out, T. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm cold. Very, very cold. It got dramatically cold here in Georgia. So I'm here in the studio with 20 layers, it feels like, of clothing because I'm just that cold. But I'm here.
It's good to have you here, T. Making sure that we sound good. Of course, you guys don't know Tyrus Lester. Shout out to him. He's our producer, our CFO for K.L.P Entertainment. Of course, you guys are going to see him have his credits coming up very shortly. Street Style, my documentary, is getting ready to come to Prime. I know a lot of people have been asking us when the documentary will be coming out. It's coming out very soon. That's all we can say. We're still waiting on Prime to have it officially on their app. They did deliver, they did buy our film. So, very, very excited for that. But I do agree with T. It is cold. I had to make sure I set my house temperature on heat and the studio temperature on heat because it is cold. Officially, we are in fall. I got to say that, T. We are officially ready for fall, and we're ready for another exciting podcast tonight. This is the Beyond Swanky podcast. Of course, if you guys don't know, we've got the legend, King Coco, back in the building, making sure that we sound good. He has another story for you guys, and this one, he's talked about it before in his other shows, but, we wanted to talk about it again on our show because if you guys don't know, the Beyond the Swanky podcast is a rated R type of podcast. We have explicit content, so if you don't like this explicit content, this show may not be for you because we're unfiltered. Right, we're unfiltered, where we uncensored a little bit when it comes to the Beyond Swanky podcast because we like to come on the show to give you guys just stories and how we feel, and what we're talking about is something very, very important. And these are notes and kind of things that happen, and this is what we're talking about: to catch a rapist. Right? We all know we've seen it on TV, we've seen it in real life, we've seen it in movies, and I think this is a topic of conversation that we need to have. Right, Coco?
They thought they were safe. They really did. Y'all really thought I only had an eye on the pedophiles? Trust me. I also have an eye on the rapists. And you about to be exposed, man. So you're a rapist. You don't know how to stop raping. Fear not. As we did on To Catch a Pedophile, we are going to catch a rapist and also try and change them for the better.
Change their souls, change their lives. Before we go any further, guys, this is something that's never okay for all of my gentlemen out there or women, because to be honest, women can rape men too. It's very rare that that happens, but that does happen. And this is kind of an educational show here tonight because as we dabble into uh, teenage years and we've seen teenagers out there in the world, we see young college kids. I know this kind of goes heart and heart with me because we do work for a university, so these are just educational keynotes, educational things to catch, a rapist name of our podcast. But this goes very and dear to our hearts because we're seeing a lot of, we dabble with college kids, and this stuff does happen. And we want to share some of our opinions of how you catch a person like this, and to advocate and say, hey, this is not okay, right? So like I say, the show is not gonna be for everybody. This might be a trigger for some people. So if it is a trigger, please don't listen to this podcast because we don't want to traumatize anybody. But this is what we're talking about here tonight.
Now, you'll notice I'm not using specific pronouns when I talk about a rapist because, truthfully, a rapist could be anyone.
Yeah.
Could be a he, a she, a they, a them. Anything under the sun, that you identify as can be a rapist. And maybe certain things that you're doing, you don't classify that as rapey behavior, as rape on movements. But as you'll soon come to find out, It is. So I'm just about to hop right into this.
Let's get it.
Now, do you do you need to do you prefer to get the person inebriated before having sex?
Absolutely not. Now, I know you were asking it just for rhetorical. Of course, for me, King, I definitely know. Doesn't matter if I'm at a party. Doesn't matter if I'm drunk out of my mind. Because a lot of people do say, very few people do say, "Hey, we're both inebriated. We're both drunk, so it's fine." It's never fine. It doesn't matter how drunk you are. Rape is still rape, in my opinion. I wouldn't find personally for me, I wouldn't find any pleasure in drunk sex. I wouldn't find any pleasure in I know she's inebriated, I know she's drunk out of her ass, but I'm super sober and I'm trying to get it in. Never have I ever done that, but I would find a very uncomfortable discomfort from that. I don't know how some guys find it to be very, very comfortable when they have their girl that's drunk or a girl that's drunk and they feel like, oh, it's better that way. Um, so to answer that question, no, I definitely wouldn't like my friend who I am attracted to be inebriated before having sex because for me that's a form of discomfort in my opinion.
If so, I'm gonna tell you right now, you just might be a rapist. And I say one and not the other. Now, me personally, I don't like being drunk and having sex. And I don't like getting someone drunk to have sex. Not my personal, pardon me, not my personal cup of tea. Y'all are into Earl Grey English breakfast and orange peak or whatever the fuck. Hey man, you do that. But I mean specifically, you like to get the other person waved. You like to get the other person waved before you can have sex with them, or in order to have sex with them.
Personally, for me, when someone is super drunk, it's kind of messy, right? I don't know. Maybe it's just me that's thinking that way. Okay, so our friends, close friends, Kennedy, you know our close friends. We hang out and we get drunk. We had filmmakers and directors and producers coming to film New York, and obviously we got drunk, right? Um, it felt a bit messy, right? Not in a super bad way because I had a great time, but when we were out in New York, there were a lot of obviously drunk women that when we went to the bars after filming, after hours, going there, seeing the women come on to us, right? And we felt like, okay, yeah, we're drunk, you're drunk, but you're severely drunk to where it's kind of like, ugh. Like I don't know if I'm just the only one that's had that feeling, but I've had a certain feeling like, ugh. Like, ooh, you drunk and you just threw up on your shirt and you're still trying to, no, ugh, gross. Um, so that's never been my end game. Let's say if I'm going out to a party, going out to the club, going out to whatever, and finding out that girls that are flirting or whatever, they're drunk out of their minds. They're drunk out of their ass to where it's not funny, to where it's not cute, right? You can be cute and be drunk, in my opinion. But you can't be cute and be gross with it. Well, excuse me, you can't be drunk and be gross with it because some guys like that shit. I personally, and I don't know about you, Kennedy, but I personally don't rock with girls who are drunk out of their minds and it's disgusting looking to where like she needs a shower. That's just my opinion.
You hear the chink, chicking, chicking. Those are the handcuffs, man.
Mm-hmm.
Cause that's some rapey behavior. I don't know, man. If you're asking me, that's kind of crazy. It's kind of rapey. Um, like if you always need someone to be a little bit waved, like again, like I don't know, would they have done that sober? Would they have? Oh, sorry, they're your partner. They're your partner. They're your ting. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm still a rapist. That's what they told me to say. I don't know, man. That's what they told me to say. You're a rapist. You're a rapist. What can you do? Here's how to fix this. Don't do that because that's weird. That's weird, and you should be jumped for doing that. You should be.
Yeah, and I agree because a lot of dudes because I again like T said when we went to New York we've I haven't seen rapey type behavior, but I've seen it to where when I am inebriated, but I'm not so inebriated, I'm not so drunk, so I have a little bit of common sense of what's going on. And there's a group of guys talking to these group of girls, and they're kind of weird with it, right? If you come over with some tequila and she doesn't want it, you can't force it down her throat, right? Again, I've seen that in New York. A lot of dudes coming in, buying girls drinks, and say, hey, take this, hey, take that. First of all, you don't know if that man spiked that drink, right? So then, if he spiked that drink, and now you're taking a sip of that drink, right? Now there's a whole nother issue there, and that's to me, that's also I've seen that to be kind of another rapey type behavior to where you're trying so desperately to get somebody so drunk so that way they have no idea who or what they are, right? And you've seen that, and it's not just in New York, it's all over. It's even here in Atlanta. I've seen that before. And to your point, King, uh, they should get jumped for that, right? A lot of guys should get jumped for scarfing drinks down ladies' drinks. Now, ladies, again, if you're at a bar or a club, it's good to go out, right? But if you're there and you have a little bit of common sense and someone's offering you drinks and just really forcing drinks on you, then watch out for that guy because he's wanting some other intention. Now it's also, and I've seen this in shows, and I've done this too. I bought a girl a drink. I didn't buy her 2 drinks. I didn't buy her 5 drinks. I didn't buy her 10 drinks. Right? Because it's weird. It's weird. Why are you buying these drinks? Why are you trying so desperately, so hard to get uh, girls drunk and inebriated? So again, you guys, you should get jumped for that if you're buying so many drinks for this one girl. Like, no, that's not. If you really trying to get on, dang how you get on, bruh. Just talk to her. Talk to her. Share her interest. Laugh. Dance. That's it. That's all you need to do. You don't have to buy 20 million drinks. And if she's not interested, if she's not giving you that sign that she want it, then you back off. Because if you don't back off, yeah, that's rapey behavior. It's a little weird.
For some reason, you haven't been yet. Maybe your friends are also rapists too, and they're allowing that. But don't do that because that's really weird and really gross. Here's something else that's very odd. Maybe no doesn't always mean no to you. Maybe you think that, oh, it's no now, but if I keep asking and wear them down, that's rape, rape, rape. You're a rapist. You're a rapist. You're a rapist. Sorry. Sorry. The only thing, like, when I think about wearing down, I think about fucking beating a nail with a hammer. I think about fucking a boxing match, WWE. I think about fucking football games when I think of wearing down. Why? What? Like during sex, you're talking about that? To get sex? First of all, ask my ting for sex. She never says no to me. She'll never say no to me. Know what I mean? That's just me. But hey, in the event that if she did, which would never happen, oh well. Good night. Move on with my life. Try again tomorrow.
And I think that's a lot of things what the guys should really understand. No means no. And if she's not interested, you move on, right? I've had it to where trust me, Coco Auntie, trust me, y'all. I've had women who turned me down left and right. It sucks, right? To me, it's not an ego thing. It wasn't an ego damager because I know who I am. But yeah, I've had girls say, "Nope, nope, you're not my type. Nope, you ain't getting none," and that's fine. I go to bed knowing that, hey, I didn't rape this girl, right? I had no intentions of doing it. She wasn't interested. She's not interested. I'll move on. There's plenty fish in the sea, right? And I think that the problem, and I've seen this in our generation too, that a lot of dudes don't want to move on, right? They're so fixated with that one girl who's been telling you time and time that night or over and over again, no, she's not interested. And for me, I can take a hint, right? If I can tell that the conversation is dry and she's really trying to get away and she just really didn't want to talk, okay, I got that sign. I got it. You're not interested. Cool. It's whatever. And guys nowadays, I seen it that it's hard for them to understand the boundaries, understanding the signs, read the room. Like she's not interested. Good night. It's done. You're finished. You had your chance. You shot your shot. It didn't work. Move on. Because like I say, I'm a firm believer in plenty fish in the sea. There's plenty of girls. And I also think when gentlemen is while we're on the topic of plenty of girls in the sea or plenty fish in the sea rather, when you're at a bar, club, dance, whatever, there's other women there, right? On a good night. If you're going out to a spot on a good night, there's plenty of women there. You shouldn't be fixated on that one girl when there's 20 million other girls in the world and there's like 20 other girls in the club that you can talk to, right? Just simple talk to. Um, and then if you get shut down with all 20 girls at the club, good night. Move on. It's not the end of the world. It's not like your ego has been bruised. Not saying that you suck, right? You just that night wasn't your night. You move on.
But if you're getting inferior, if you're getting vexed, my nigga, if you're getting vexed because they're not in the mood and you're trying to convince them, oh God, they're trying to fucking buy insurance or something. Like you're trying to convince them. Ooh, I don't know, man. That's ooh boy. Oh boy, I even know what to say about that, man. That speaks for itself. I think I wouldn't even know what to do. I wouldn't even know. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not even sure what you're thinking when you're doing those things. Like what are you thinking when you're doing that? You know what I mean? Holy cow! Pardon me. Another thing that's definitely a rapist move
Yeah, speak on it.
is if you're like following people and kind of stalking them. That's rapamon behavior, bro.
Bro, yeah. So, T, because I remember I was telling T this story, Coco. What you just said was true because at the same night, shout out to Ritz. That's a wonderful club in New York. um, I laugh because like I think it was me and my little brother and our friend Harmony. Them two were our producers for the documentary and the actors, but um. I don't know if they caught it, but I caught on. Again, I was inebriated, but I had some sort of sense, right? There was this one girl who was with a group of guys. Well, it was her and her girlfriend, so she had like two friends, and there was this one dude that I can tell kept lingering all over her like a lost cat, right? And it was so funny because like I'm over here and I'm dancing. I'm living my best life. And I see this girl because she's cute, right? She was very, very cute. I'm seeing her move from one corner to another corner, and the guy like gradually moves his way in her vicinity or in her area, in her space, in her bubble. And I said, damn, dog, like you really following this girl. Like, give her some damn space. Right? It's just it's crazy that okay, if I like a girl, I'm not going to be following her like a lost puppy. Right? I cannot do that. That's very first of all, it's clingy as hell. Number two, like you said, Coco, that's stockish as hell. Like, give her some space. Right? Everywhere I go, if I'm talking to a girl, whether it's in the office, whether it's at the gym or somewhere, some club. Yeah, I'm talking. If you first, when we first introduced, we talking. Yeah, we talking kicking, and then I'm gonna go about my business. Right? I'm not gonna be all up in her space. I'm not gonna be all up in her bubble because damn it, they need some space. That is reprimand behavior. That you're lingering and you're following someone, not just in the club, but if you're following them after the club, right? Why are you doing that? Why are you not letting this girl live and let her breathe, right? You all up in her bubble, in her space. I never understand that.
Like, I mean, in all senses of it, and hear me out because I know a lot of you are gonna get cheese when I say this, but I mean, let's say there's a ting who you want the number of, okay,
Got it.
and this is someone you know of, but it's the friend of someone else that you know. Okay, you following me still?
Yeah.
You ask this friend for that person's social media or number, or whatever the fuck.
Okay.
Um, numbers were social media okay because then it's like okay, mutual friend, but number. I'm gonna use specifically numbers. You ask them for their number,
Mm-hmm.
and first of all, you as the friend should not be doing that because it's not your number to give. But if they give you and that's how you're moving, that's kind of little bit itsy bitsy bit rape. Little bit. Because that's weird, creepy behavior, bro. Like I don't like why do you need to do that? You got no game, nigga? You got no game?
I see.
You got no game. You just this cheat to win type shit. Cheap to win. If you offering if you offering money to non-hookers to get pokes, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know about that. Like, how do you move when you're around people? I would like to know. You could tell by the way the certain mannerisms that people do. If they touch you too much, rape. You can already tell that they're on that shit. They're not asking. They don't ask before they do things, like touching you, for example. They don't say excuse me when they're walking past you. These are little things to look out for because they think they just have. There are a lot of people who think they just have domain over other people's bodies. It's not how this works. It's not how this works.
Yeah, that and I agree. That's so not how that works. For me, it's just being rude, right? I mean, skin on skin contact that you're doing to somebody that you barely know, and now you're touching all up on them. For me, I like to be very careful. Like if I bump somebody or accidentally touch I would say, "Excuse me, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. I'm just trying to get by here." Right? And now I'm more careful even if I'm out in public or even like I say like we all know, we work for an institution, right? I have to be very careful. Right? If I bump a young female student, "Oh, excuse me, sorry. I'm just trying to get right here." Right? I'm just trying to bypass you a little bit and we kind of collided. My bad. I'm sorry. Right? Because you don't know. You don't know who's watching. You don't know that something else that can be of that story. So it's always good to say, "Excuse me. Oh, I didn't mean to touch you. I'm just, we collided somehow. Maybe I got in the way. Maybe you got in the way. I'm sorry." Right? It's a respectful thing. And just for us, especially us black men, we have to be careful with that.
You get fucked up in prison for that shit. You know what I mean? That's not how this works, my nigga. You gotta ask politely.
True.
If you're trying to get some punani, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, that's just me. And that's just me personally. I see a lot of people sit around and be touching a lot unnecessarily. Saw it a lot at Caravana this past weekend. See it a lot on a regular basis. People just feel like it's okay to touch for no reason. Do you know that person like that? Why are you touching them?
Yeah, and I've seen that too. I've seen that a whole lot. People touching people. People. I mean, did y'all not learn from where we come from? Where we came from in 2020 of COVID-19? Zero contact at all times, unless you boyfriend and girlfriend, right? I never understand that. While we on that topic, because I this was on my mind, guys. I saw. Okay, so I work at an institution, right? We ain't gonna. I don't know their names or whatever, but I'm seeing boyfriend and girlfriend. This girl's drinking look like this very sugary strawberry juice from Starbucks. And this girl takes out she licked the straw, takes it out, and the boyfriend's taking a sip of the drink. That is like the most nastiest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, ugh. Like I saw that as I'm walking down the hall. I'm like, ugh. Uh, you don't know where he's been. You don't know where she's been, right? I don't know. I bet I thought I think they think that was cute, but I just think that was just gross. But on the topic of touching, you know, yeah, touching people. I've seen people touching people. I see strangers touching people. I remember one time, again, this was a New York story. This was a different club we went to. This girl's dancing. This guy comes up, start touching her. Of course, she was like, ew, like and I laughed because I was inebriated, and I laughed, say, damn, bruh. You thought you were gonna cop a feel, but yeah, you didn't even ask. You just decided to go and touch her, right? And he felt embarrassed for the rest of the night. Again, folks, y'all gotta be careful who y'all be touching, right? I don't like it when people be touching me, right? If you ain't my girl, don't touch me. If you ain't a close friend and we doing hugs or something, don't touch me. If you ain't a sibling, don't touch me, right? Cause we ain't cool. Don't be touching me. The only person that need to be touching me is me. Not in a weird way. I just had to revert what I just said. Don't be touching me.
Why are you touching them? And then why are you confused when you get punched in the mouth? One instance that I actually saw over the weekend is one nigga was just repeatedly trying to dance on this one thing, repeatedly trying to catch a wine. She made it clear that she wasn't about that. She's like, yo, just, I don't want to dance with you. All my brothers out there, hey man, it's okay. It is okay to get rejected.
What I've been saying all night.
But you know what also starts with R? Rape. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because sexual assault is just one step behind rape, bro. Right? That's really all it is. So whatever. She's telling him no. She's telling him no. She's telling him no. And at one point she pushes him off and they're scrapping. Like, don't. And then he's confused. This nigga comes up to me after the fact, talking about, bro, why are you at Banna if you're not trying to do that? Bro, why are you a rapist? Don't talk to me about that. Tings don't when I'm trying to dance on a ting, A, I'm usually asking them. And B, they're not moving away when I'm doing it. They're not moving away from me. You need listen, don't be mad at me because you're ugly and have no game. Don't try to justify rape with those reasons. I would prefer it if you tried to justify it with, hey man, like I get it, I'm ugly and this and that, and that's why I did that. Don't say, oh, why did you come here if you weren't trying to do that? Ooh, I don't know, man. I don't know. I ain't no snitch, but I don't know.
So usually, okay, so if I'm at a bar or at a club, usually I go with my friends, right? And if I am dancing with friends, Then if a girl comes, and this is just my experience. Everybody has a different experience, in my opinion. If I'm dancing, I'm inebriated. Again, I'm dancing. I'm having a good time. I'm feeling hella good. If a girl comes up and just wants to dance, then that's your ticket in. I feel. I feel that it's most important when you're dancing, you're vibing, you're doing your thing, and a girl comes up. To me, that's like an invitation. Like, okay, she's feeling it, right? And I've never been that dude. The story you just told, Coco. I've never been that dude where I come to the club and I'm making the first move where I'm going to dance on a girl and see what happens, right? Because we as gentlemen, yeah, we get sad when we get rejected, but like you said, it's okay if we get rejected, right? So for me, it's like, okay, I'm gonna dance with some friends. I'm gonna just turn up. I'm gonna have fun, right? And then if a smoking girl comes up and say, "Oh, I want to dance with you," okay, yeah, we can dance. That's your ticket in, gentlemen. That's when it's okay. That because she's literally coming up to you and she's feeling you, right? That's your invitation to say, okay, this is cool, right? Again, everybody's experience is different. My experience is different. That same scenario happened again. We're relating a lot to New York, our New York trip. That happened in New York, back in Ritz, because Ritz was a good club. Back in Ritz, I'm dancing with my brother in Harmony. We're dancing. This girl, she's drunk, but she started whining and grinding on me. That was an invitation, right? Invitation to dance for a minute, have a good time, have some fun. And I think a lot of guys, we have to wait for our invitation, right? Because that's the invitation to say, okay, she's interested. And I think that's the problem. People are not waiting for that invitation. They're so eager. And then that's lead to rapist type behavior. So
Just don't be a rapist. Hey man, like I get it, like R. Kelly locked up for 30 years now. Bill Cosby on his fuck shit. A lot of people out here are on their fuck shit these days, but just don't be a rapist. I don't know how else it is, how else to say it. Like just don't rape and don't do that, and maybe don't do it. I don't know. That's pretty much all there is to it. I mean, like just don't. And also, if you're not a rapist, but you suspect someone around you is, look out for these things. You know what I mean? Look out for these things. Look out for them. Because there could always be a rapist amongst you, and you wouldn't know. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm just drinking water. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I do. I really do. And ladies, my women out there that's possibly listening to our show tonight, yeah, take a look at these signs, right? Take a great look at these signs because it's out there, unfortunately, and we us gentlemen, we have to wait for our invitation. We have to look out for these things and make sure we're not betraying rapist type behavior. But for our women, look out for these things, right? I think women are doing pretty good at that in today's standard, but we have to be better men, I would say. So that's going to wrap it up here on our podcast tonight, the Beyond Swanky podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're watching the video version of this podcast on YouTube at K.L.P Entertainment, like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that way you guys do not miss another new podcast or media coming from us here at K.L.P Entertainment. Now, if you're listening to the show, audio version on all major audio platforms, we're talking iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so much more. Thank you so much. Guys, please share it with your friends so that way they can take a listen and they can share it with their friends as well. Coco, it's always been a pleasure for you to be in the studio giving us these great stories and having our show. T, y'all know T always makes sure we sound good microphone wise. So that's going to wrap it up here for our cast and crew from Swanky Studios, the Beyond Swanky podcast. I've been your host and moderator, K.L.P Kennedy Lucas. Stay safe, stay swanky. Peace.